I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Morning, sir.
Good afternoon. Take
Morning,
your
sir.
seat. You are Aditi.
Yes, sir.
Aditi, you're comfortable in English?
Yes, sir.
Will that be your preferred medium for interview?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aditi, you might have noticed that we are taking adequate care as far as COVID is concerned.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we have taken several steps. And one of the steps is that we have kept your chair at adequate distance so that you feel safe.
Yes,
Another advantage that one can take out of it is that you can remove mask if you are feeling comfortable because that distance is adequate. Would you like to?
Yes, sir.
Please do. Right. So you're comfortable?
Yes, sir.
And you yourself, you're not having any symptoms?
No, sir.
Okay. Fine, Aditi, then let us start. To begin with, I want you to introduce yourself to the board members in a manner that your name is not repeated.
Yes, sir.
And your caste, your community, these things are not indicated.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Aditi.
That was not supposed to be repeated. Anyway.
Okay. I'm from Meerut. I did my schooling from Sophia Girls School, Meerut, and then I did my BTech in Computer Science Engineering from Ghaziabad. And since then, I've been preparing for civil services.
Your school was Sophia Girls School
Yes,
in Meerut.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you're probably the right person to ask it. Why Meerut is spelled as M-E-E-R-U-T?
So I'm not sure.
It cannot be the spelling of Meerut. You understand that?
Sir.
You never thought of it?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyways, you can look at it. Tell me, Aditi, you've done graduation in computer science engineering.
Yes, sir.
And you have taken geography as your optional.
Yes, sir.
Any particular love for geography? Why?
So I was interested in geography since I last studied geography in school in 10th grade, and I was really good at it. And when I passed out, did my graduation, I looked at the optional subjects, and its syllabus kind of interested me. So that's why I took it.
If we look at see the intersection of geography and computer science, there are several important things. For example, GIS is one.
Yes,
tell me, generally GIS is used for more technical thing rather than social.
Yes, sir.
But as a woman, just think over it. Can GIS be used in a important way for social issues? For example, say gender discrimination. Is there a possibility?
So GIS is mainly geospatial technology, and for women it can be used for the safety purposes in vehicles, in for example in public transport, etc. And I think that that's the gender significance of it.
Whenever we venture into this protection of women, security of women,
Yes, sir.
it is essentially a surveillance thing. Unfortunately, whenever we talk about protecting women, we end up watching women, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there a way in society where women are safe and which should not translate into they being under surveillance?
So for that, I think the problem is that women generally feel unsafe in, for example, in venturing out at night, and that's why we link their safety to tracking them and keeping a watch over them. But the other thing is that we should educate ourselves as a society as a whole and learn that every person has an agency over and basically empowering women and teaching children from birth that everybody is equal and nobody should discriminate against each other. I think these things should be inculcated in education itself. So that's
Do you believe this idea that whenever we talk about any social problem, any social ills, we end up talking about education as if education is some kind of a panacea for everything? But our experience world over, including India's experience, is that that is not the case. For example, more educated, advanced districts in country are the place where the sex ratio is the worst, amongst the worst. So this idea that education actually solves every problem, and tribal areas are better off when it comes to sex ratio. So the idea that education is always a good thing, a rosy thing, don't you think that it's been overemphasized?
yes, so there are both aspects. For instance, in the well-off districts where there is a lot of workforce, I think the sex ratio is skewed also because there is a lot of migration from rural to urban areas. So that's one factor. And then surely education cannot be the only thing. I'm sorry, sir, I can't think of it right now.
No problem. If you look at, you're coming from Meerut, and if you look at the recent farm laws agitation that's been going on for quite some time now, I want to ask two things. One, why government is not adequately approaching these agitating farmers? Second, why the farmers' problem with the farm laws is not uniform in the state like UP. Parts of UP are really agitated and parts of UP are not bothered at all.
So as to your first question, I think the government is trying. For example, there was a high-level committee formed by the government, and it tried to engage farmers, but the farmer leaders themselves were not ready to join in the negotiations and in the discussions. Only some of them broke away, and then they were boycotted by the others. So that's one factor, and the government has also delayed the implementation of the farm laws by quite some time now. So I don't think that they are not ready to engage with the farmers. They are trying, but on the other hand, both the parties are adamant on this stand. So that's why there's a this issue is dragging on for quite some time now. And as to the second question, I think the agitation is concentrated in mostly by the farmers of Punjab, Haryana and Western UP, because there are strong middlemen and whose interests are involved in these issues. And regarding Eastern UP, there are a lot of small farmers. There are a larger number of smaller farmers in Eastern UP and other districts.
Right. So,
Aditi.
Yes, sir.
You are a student of geography.
Yes, sir.
And Meerut is a part of Great Plain.
Yes, sir.
So when we move from west to east in the UP, the deposition of soil decreases.
Yes, sir.
Is it true?
Sir, UP falls under Ganga. UP has Ganga plains for the majority part of it, and in the eastern part, the rivers, especially Kosi and all these rivers, there is a lot of flooding in the eastern UP. So I think that could be the issue, that the soil cover is sparser in the eastern areas of UP.
Are you sure Kosi is flowing in the eastern part of UP?
No, sir, sorry. Kosi is in Bihar, sort of Bihar.
Okay. So, you are from sugar belt.
Yes, sir.
And I felt there is a problem in sugar, particularly in these days, the pricing of sugar, it is stable. Almost from 5 to 10 years, the price of sugar is stable.
Yes, sir.
And when any product's price is stable, then definitely there is a problem. What type of problem created after the stabilization of pricing of sugar?
So the sugarcane yield in UP, for example, is quite high, and whenever the yield is high, as a result of it, farmers get very low returns, and that's a problem. So now the government is providing subsidy for exports so that the returns to the farmers are increased, and the sugarcane mills, which are under a lot of debt, and they have to pay thousands of crores towards farmers and etc. So that problem is solved as well.
I have asked the question regarding the sugar. You have explained the answer regarding the sugar cane.
Okay, sir.
What's the international linkage of pricing of sugar? Do you know about it?
So Brazil, I think, is the largest producer of sugar, and it controls a large amount of the world trade in sugar.
Do you know about the tropical sugar and temperate sugar?
No, sir, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know about the sugar cane sugar and the beet sugar?
So I can guess they come from different plant species. One from sugarcane and one from beetroot.
Okay. So your hobby is yoga.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain what is the difference between Halasan and Chakrasan?
These two are different poses in Hatha Yoga, and can I tell their English names or I have to explain
No,
them?
no, no. I want to know what is the difference.
No, I can't explain that way.
Okay. My last question.
Yes, sir.
In which part of the geography you feel very comfortable so that I may ask one question?
So geographical thought was, I liked geographical thought when I studied geography.
Okay. Can you define the dualism between you and me?
No, so dualism refers to geography can be studied from various aspects, and dualism means there are various aspects to study geography. For example, physical geography and human geography, and
just you have to explain between dualism between you and me.
It can be referred with respect to surroundings in which we are, and
is it not that I am in a thinking process of quantitative and you have the approach of humanistic approach? Is it true? Might be.
yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Aditi.
Yes, Aditi.
Yes, sir.
Aditi, as the kind of the political developments, those which are occurring in the country, and the proper functioning of the federalism, center-state relations, we have seen number of the tussles and the contradictions, and the protest or the dissent, which has been came out from time to time from the different Indian states towards the center on various issues, whether it may be the state of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Kerala, Rajasthan. The recent one, we have witnessed the fiscal, the constraint in the regime of the fiscal federalism, right? So that we call partition federalism actually. Can you define this partition federalism, how it is deteriorating Indian, the proper functioning of Indian federal system?
So fiscal federalism is basically that every unit of India has autonomy with respect to their fiscal matters, and nowadays some people say that the center is more partial towards states in which the ruling dispensation is from the party at the center. And for example, whenever GST Council in which the like-minded parties they contribute towards bringing out the same policies with the party at the center supports. So
can you tell me the basic provisions like which are hurting the proper the fiscal independence of the state meted out by the center in the role of finance commission?
So our constitution gives center a lot of power over major issues, and states mostly depend on the center for various things in the form of discretionary grants and other grants. So
are you aware of those developments or not?
So which issue are you referring to?
I'm referring about as I mentioned the modern day the current finance commission's scheme of devolutions of the funds to the state.
Yes, sir.
So whether it is been like in the favor of the center, or it is like partition treatment towards the state.
So the fiscal
it compromises the state's autonomy, or you can say the fiscal autonomy.
Sir, I think states on their own also have a lot of discretionary power to levy taxes. For example, nowadays we are seeing in the case of petrol and diesel taxes, but
who levies the taxes on the petrol and the diesel?
So both the center and the states. That's why there was an issue recently whereby the prices were increasing, and both the center and the states were accusing each other of not lowering the prices first.
All right, let me ask about the another segment. Karnataka state has come up with a policy where it has set up some boards called the Brahmin boards. Have you heard of this?
No, sir.
So these kind of the boards basically are the boards which promotes you can say as the critics does say that it promotes patriarchy and the casteism.
Sir, I can take a guess that these boards must be for the development of a particular community, and that's why I think the allegations.
So in that
must
case,
be
these kind of the boards must be replicated with the other caste also. Why only the Brahmin boards?
So maybe the the particular community there is lagging in some educational or some aspects.
Anyway, you are not aware of this.
Yes.
You are, I think, computer graduate?
Yes, sir.
Fine. What is the Rax line phone?
I've not heard of it.
This is, you can say, secured and dedicated phone lines? No, no idea.
No, sir.
Fine. In the state of the Uttar Pradesh, its eastern part, acute encephalitis syndrome is being found. What kind of the mechanism are the provisions that Uttar Pradesh government has taken to prevent this kind of incidents?
So there was a major tragedy.
Just provisions.
So provisions. So the primary health centers etc. have been improved, and the chief minister, I think, changed the dignitaries also.
You
there.
are the student of the geography. What geographical conditions that induces this kind of the problem in eastern Uttar Pradesh and not in the western Uttar Pradesh?
So the climate, the climatic conditions there are conducive for vector-borne diseases and etc. And this Japanese encephalitis is transmitted by mosquitoes. So and plus there's a lot of poor belt in that area, and various districts there have such conditions, and the children as a result are suffering from it.
It has been seen like right to know regime has been weakened in India. Why? Because of you can say right to know our RTI activists in generally, they had been seen that they had been tortured and killed over the period of times, and the government has not reacted proactively. At the same time, government has also amended RTI Act regime, which leaves CICs, Chief Information Commissioners, and other commissioners at the whims and the fancies of the government.
Yes, sir.
So, don't you think so? This is like the detrimental to the in the good governance practices.
Yes, sir. In the recent amendment, the CIC and information commissioners have to be appointed by the central government and at their discretion. I do think this weakens the RTI movement, especially after it took such a long time to come into view. But sir, I think the government stand is that the CIC is not a constitutional body, and that's why it cannot be created to the election commission, and they have brought up the amendment as a result.
All right, my last one to you. You comes from the Merit.
Yes, sir.
Under one district, one product program.
Yes, sir.
Name any 2 or 3 products which you can recall, starting from your own district.
So sports goods, scissors, and from Meerut, and leather goods from Kanpur, bangles from Bareilly, and chicken work from Lucknow.
Is there any difference between the kind of the product and the GI tag products? Or they can be the same simultaneously? They can be equated with each other?
No, sir. I think they're different.
Difference?
Yes, sir.
Any difference?
GI tags are particularly that.
Whether it can be interchangeably taken or not, like GI tag product can be one district, one product, things are not.
So I think if they are grown in, so GI tags are basically if a product is specifically grown in one region, and
you're defining again, sir.
Okay, Aditi.
Yes, sir.
हिंदी समझ में आती है?
Yes, sir.
क्या क्या पढ़ती हैं आप? आपने लिखा है कि आपको रीडिंग पसंद है, क्या क्या पढ़ती हैं?
So mostly fiction books.
अंग्रेजी में, हिंदी में?
Sir, English.
लास्ट क्या पढ़ा था?
Sir, I read a book where the Crawdads Sing, Delia Owens ने लिखी है.
उपन्यास है?
Sir, novel है ये.
नॉवल है.
हाँ जी.
चलिए, ये मानते हुए कि मैंने नहीं पढ़ा है, जो कि मैंने नहीं पढ़ा है.
हाँ जी.
Describe its cover page to me.
कवर पेज. सर इस बुक में एक लड़की की कहानी है जो मार्श एरिया में रहती है, तो इसके कवर में बेसिकली नेचर को रिप्रेजेंट किया गया है, क्योंकि बुक की स्टोरी भी इसी तरह है कि कैसे वो लड़की और मार्श की स्टोरी एक साथ लेके चलती होता है, तो बुक में भी मार्शी एरियाज एंड मोस्टली नेचर का डिपिक्शन है.
ओके, आई कैन सी दैट अभी आप SDM बनना चाहती हैं.
यस.
आई एम श्योर कि आपको ये अनुमान है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में अगर आप SDM बनती हैं तो महिला होने के नाते एक क्या क्या दिक्कतें आपको आएंगी. बता सकती हैं ऐसी 3 परेशानियां जो विमेन ऑफिसर्स को फेस करनी पड़ती हैं जब वे उत्तर प्रदेश में अधिकारी बनती हैं?
सर आई थिंक मुझे लगता है ऑफिस अधिकारी वैसे बहुत एम्पावर्ड होते हैं हमारे देश में, बट वैसे देखा जाए तो प्रदेश में भी कुछ लोगों को जैसे वुमेन ऑफिसर को फॉलो करने में ऑर्डर्स ना इतना वो हो, बट आई थिंक ऑफिसर्स हमारे बहुत एम्पावर्ड होते हैं, तो आई डोंट थिंक कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आती होगी अनलेस कोई ऐसे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हों जहाँ पे अवेयरनेस एंड वैसा बहुत कम हो।
आपका क्या प्लान है वर्क लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस के बैलेंस को लेकर? आमतौर पर आपकी उम्र में महिलाएं जब प्रशासन में आती हैं तो उनके 2 रूप होते हैं। एक वे जब तक वे शादी नहीं करती वो एक डायनामिक ऑफिसर की तरह काम कर रही होती हैं, और उसके बाद उनकी शादियां होती हैं और उसके बाद वे एक दबे हुए अधिकारी की तरह काम करते हैं। दे आस्क फॉर पोस्टिंग्स की ट्रेनिंग में भेज दीजिए उनको, अपनी फैमिली के लिए बैलेंस करने में दे कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ विद देयर दिस थिंग। तो आपको क्या लगता है, आप ऐसा करेंगी या आपके पास कोई और बेहतर प्लान है वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस को लेकर?
सर आई डोंट थिंक सारी फीमेल ऑफिसर्स ऐसे करती हैं। एग्जांपल कुछ फीमेल ऑफिसर्स बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग है। अभी थोड़े टाइम पहले सौम्या पांडे IAS का पिक्चर आई थिंक आउट हुआ था कि वो अपने इन्फेंट को लेकर ऑफिस गई थी, तो डिफरेंट एग्जांपल्स हैं।
That's very cruel picture to me. I mean, I saw that picture and I believe it's been a very cruel picture. It rather than showing sensitivity or duty, her commitment to duty, it shows how cruel the system is, isn't it?
So not exactly cruel, but it also shows that वो अपने काम को लेकर कितनी dedicated है।
But why should a officer with such young child, not even out of the maternity leave period, be forced to work? Any society that is forcing such a woman to work is cruel.
So, but she wasn't forced to. I think she went on her own discretion, and
it's in the same way as women are not forced to push into the kitchen, but actually they are.
So, वो sir kitchen वाला I think now society is I think equalizing more and both men and women are partaking, although it is a long way to go from the Western notion of family responsibilities, but अब I think दोनों का part बढ़ रहा है in domestic life and all. And as regards to Soumya ma'am.
Okay, before I let you go, my understanding about your responses are that you are not prepared. You are not prepared to face the challenges you will be facing as women officer, and you are assuming that you will be crossing that bridge when it comes. Am I right?
No, sir. I'll learn along the way, but it's not that
you
I'm
don't
not
have a plan for it, do you?
Sir, it's not like I'm not prepared.
Okay, just you're given 30 seconds to convince me that I am wrong here. You have a plan that how you will work as women officer. It's not just that okay, पहले exam clear हो जाता है फिर देखेंगे.
Sir, I am a very responsible person, and the responsibilities which are given to me, I do fulfill them. And regarding the challenges which will come, I will be steadfast in जो भी मुझे काम मिलेगा. And ऐसा नहीं है कि I will back out या नहीं देखेंगे. And I don't leave things as they are कि चलो चलता है. That is not my disposition, and so I politely say that.
ठीक है Aditi, it was nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
बैठिए Aditi. Yes, tell me. Are you happy with your performance?
No, sir. I was really nervous today.
Right. What are the areas you believe that you need to work?
Sir, I think geography especially. I need to. Sir, पता नहीं याद नहीं आ रहा था, and I was revising geography, and geographical thought is my strong point. And UPSC में भी आने इसमें मैं सबसे ज़्यादा आंसर्स भी इसी के अटेम्प्ट करें, बट आई डोंट नो रिकॉल क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा है.
एक बहुत छोटा सा था सर, माफ़ चाहे, जो डुअलिज्म का क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछा.
यस सर.
तो मैं तो क्वांटिटेटिव अप्रोच से आपको लेना चाहूँगा और आप जो है सेलेक्ट होना चाहेंगे ह्यूमनिस्टिक अप्रोच से.
यस सर.
सो दिस इज द डुअलिज्म.
यस सर.
है ना?
यस सर.
So Aditi, see, you are a very, very good candidate, right? Not just because your this background, your biodata is strong, but even personality-wise, I can see that you are a strong candidate, right? It's just that you are not playing as per your strengths. You're rather more worried about your weaknesses. You're getting the
Yes, sir, yes,
whole
sir.
gambit. You are a strong candidate. You studied from nice institution. Your background is good. Your communication skills are very good. You carry a good, pleasant personality, right? These are your areas of strength, and you're a women candidate. You should take pride in that also. So these are all positive aspects of you. Rather than focusing on your strengths, you're more worried about whatever weakness you perceive you have, and that is what is stopping you from performing your best in the interview, right?
Yes, sir.
I want you to remind yourself your strengths, how well placed you are in comparison to other candidates, and trust me, you are, right? These are the things that you need to worry about, rather than worrying about things which are actually not your problems. Coming to specifics, right? Your entry is good, sitting posture is good, voice level in general good. At places there is a shivering tone in the voice which can be avoided if you can. Be loud and clear.
Okay, sir.
Loud and clear, right? Loud doesn't mean that you'll have to scream, but loud and clear, right? At places it appears a little shivering tone. The only area in communication where you have to work is on your eye contact while you are thinking.
Okay,
Your
sir.
thinking posture is like you are looking I don't know where, right? You can, if you can, the best is that look at the person you are talking to and think. If you believe that you need to break eye contact for thinking, look downward rather than upward.
Okay, sir.
You getting the point? अदरवाइज ये बहुत अजीब लगता है कि आप कहीं ऊपर लिखा तो हुआ नहीं जिससे आप पढ़ रहे हैं, नीचे की तरफ देखिए तो थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा फॉर्मल लगेगा,
Okay, sir.
right? Other things in general good. There are areas where it appears that you're letting the tension ride to you. I mean, you आपके ऊपर जो दबाव आ रहा है, pressure जो आ रहा है, you're letting that pressure dictate the interview. Please don't let it go.
Okay, sir.
Take control of the communication, right? Not exactly a tussle. The thing is, take control of what you are doing, rather than letting the emotions decide कि क्या हो रहा है. Last thing, don't clasp your hands.
Okay, sir.
Right? ये अदरवाइज एक तरह से चुगली करता है कि यू अंडर रियल स्ट्रेस. द बेस्ट थिंग इज प्लेस योर हैंड्स लाइक दैट. अदर थिंग्स वेरी गुड, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, राइट? ऑल द बेस्ट.
Thank you, sir. So I have a few questions regarding dress code. So is sari compulsory?
See, compulsory, it's not written in the rules that you have to wear sari, but sari is one of the better dresses when women have to show that they are formal.
It
But
looks
not
more
every sari. I mean, you'll be choosing it.
so light colored and
Light color, if possible, handloom work. Make sure that you take care of the fact that कितनी देर आपको इंतजार करना पड़ेगा, आप उसको उतनी देर कैरी कर सकती हैं कि नहीं कर सकती. अगर आप you are not at all comfortable, then wear a suit. Don't worry about it.
okay, sir. And sir, there was in the instructions that we have to take 2 attested photos. So do we have to attest them on their, because some people are saying that we have to attest them on our own, some are saying some officer has to do it.
See, these are technical things. I'm not really sure कि
No,
इस बार का
no,
क्या
there is no
क्या
need.
स्थिति है. हाँ?
No, self-attested will work. There is no problem as such.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.